Question 1. In North Carolina, a police officer reads a report stating that a suspect was seen leaving a crime scene at 10:30 p.m., and the suspect's car was found abandoned 3 miles away at 11 p.m. Which conclusion can be logically drawn from this information? A. The suspect drove straight to the location where the car was abandoned. B. The suspect abandoned the car due to mechanical failure. C. The suspect had an accomplice waiting at the crime scene. D. The suspect took longer than expected to abandon the car. Answer: A. The suspect drove straight to the location where the car was abandoned. Explanation: the information provided states the suspect left the crime scene at 10:30 p.m. and the car was found 3 miles away at 11 p.m. Without additional information, the most logical conclusion is that the suspect drove directly to the location where the car was abandoned. Other options are speculative without further evidence. Question 2. According to North Carolina state law, if all sworn officers must complete 24 hours of annual in-service training, Officer Brown, who completed only 20 hours, is A. in compliance with the training requirements. B. eligible for a waiver if he has a valid reason. C. non-compliant and subject to disciplinary action. D. able to complete the remaining hours next year. Answer: C. non-compliant and subject to disciplinary action. Explanation: North Carolina state law mandates that all sworn officers complete 24 hours of annual in-service training. Since Officer Brown completed only 20 hours, he is non-compliant with the law and subject to disciplinary action. Question 3. Officer Martinez in North Carolina needs to allocate resources for a community event. The event requires 25% of the police department's 80 officers to be on duty. How many officers does Officer Martinez need to assign? A. 15. B. 20. C. 25. D. 30. Answer: B. 20. Explanation: to find 25% of 80 officers, multiply 80 by 0.25, which equals 20. Therefore, Officer Martinez needs to assign 20 officers for the event. Question 4. Which of the following sentences is most appropriate for a police report in North Carolina? A. The suspect aggressively entered the premises without any hesitation, causing a huge ruckus. B. The suspect entered the premises forcibly, causing significant disturbance. C. The suspect entered the premises in a manner that could be described as highly disruptive and aggressive. D. The suspect came in and made a big scene, which caused a lot of problems. Answer: B. The suspect entered the premises forcibly, causing significant disturbance. Explanation: sentence B is clear, concise, and uses professional language appropriate for a police report, accurately describing the incident without unnecessary embellishments. Question 5. In North Carolina, Officer Smith encounters a non-English speaking resident who needs assistance. What should Officer Smith do to ensure effective communication? A. Attempt to communicate using gestures and broken English. B. Use a smartphone translation app to understand the resident's needs. C. Ignore the resident as it is too difficult to communicate. D. Wait for a bilingual officer to arrive, regardless of the resident's urgency. Answer: B. Use a smartphone translation app to understand the resident's needs. Explanation: using a translation app shows effort in overcoming the language barrier and ensures the resident's needs are addressed promptly. It's a practical solution when immediate bilingual assistance isn't available. Question 6. In North Carolina, during a lawful traffic stop, an officer notices a suspicious package on the back seat. According to the Fourth Amendment, what should the officer do next? A. Immediately search the package without consent. B. Detain the driver until a search warrant is obtained. C. Ask for the driver's consent to search the package. D. Ignore the package as it is not part of the original traffic stop. Answer. C. Ask for the driver's consent to search the package. Explanation. The Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Without probable cause or a warrant, the officer should seek consent before searching the package. Question 7. Officer Jenkins in North Carolina is responding to a domestic disturbance. Upon arrival, he finds Mr. Thompson, who appears calm but has a history of violent behavior. What should Officer Jenkins do first? A. Calmly talk to Mr. Thompson to understand the situation. B. Immediately restrain Mr. Thompson to prevent any potential violence. C. Call for backup and wait outside until they arrive. D. Ignore Mr. Thompson and speak only to the other party involved. Answer. A. Calmly talk to Mr. Thompson to understand the situation. Explanation. Officer Jenkins should initially try to de-escalate the situation by calmly talking to Mr. Thompson. This approach helps in assessing the situation while maintaining safety and control. Question 8. In North Carolina, if multiple burglary reports indicate entry through second-floor windows, which conclusion can be drawn? A. All burglars are experienced climbers. B. Burglaries are less likely to occur on ground floors. C. Residents should secure second-floor windows more effectively. D. Burglars prefer working at night. Answer. C. Residents should secure second-floor windows more effectively. Explanation. The repeated entry through second-floor windows suggests that this is a vulnerability that needs addressing. Strengthening security measures on second-floor windows is a logical preventative action. Question 9. Choose the sentence with correct grammar and syntax for a police report in North Carolina. A. The suspect were seen fleeing the scene. B. The suspect was seen fleeing the scene. C. The suspect seen fleeing the scene. D. The suspect has seen fleeing the scene. Answer. B. The suspect was seen fleeing the scene. Explanation. Sentence B is grammatically correct, using proper subject-verb agreement and tense, making it appropriate for a formal report. Question 10. Officer Taylor in North Carolina witnesses his partner accepting a bribe. According to the Code of Ethics, what should Officer Taylor do? A. Ignore the incident to maintain team cohesion. B. Report the incident to his superior officer immediately. C. Confront his partner privately about the bribe. D. Pretend he did not see the incident. Answer. B. Report the incident to his superior officer immediately. Explanation. Upholding integrity and ethics is crucial in law enforcement. Officer Taylor is obligated to report any unethical behavior, including bribery, to maintain public trust and accountability. Question 11. In North Carolina, what is the correct legal procedure for an officer to follow when conducting an arrest? A. Handcuff the suspect and immediately transport them to jail. B. Inform the suspect of their rights and the reason for the arrest before handcuffing. C. Use any force necessary to subdue the suspect without informing them of their rights. D. Confiscate the suspect's personal belongings before informing them of their arrest. Answer. B. Inform the suspect of their rights and the reason for the arrest before handcuffing. Explanation. The Miranda rights, which include informing the suspect of their rights and the reason for the arrest, are a legal requirement to ensure due process and protect the suspect's constitutional rights. Question 12. During a simulated active shooter drill in North Carolina, Officer Lee is the first to arrive at the scene. What is his priority? A. Wait for backup before entering the building. B. Enter the building immediately to neutralize the threat. C. Secure the perimeter and prevent anyone from entering. D. Evacuate nearby civilians and wait for SWAT. Answer. B. Enter the building immediately to neutralize the threat. Explanation. The priority in an active shooter situation is to stop the shooter to prevent further casualties. Immediate action to neutralize the threat is essential, following the principle of active threat response. Question 13. Officer Green in North Carolina is involved in a high-speed chase that ends in a crash. How should he manage his stress post-incident? A. Immediately return to duty without addressing his stress. B. Take a short break and then continue with his shift. C. Debrief with his supervisor and seek counseling if needed. D. Ignore his stress and keep working to maintain productivity. Answer. C. Debrief with his supervisor and seek counseling if needed. Explanation. Properly managing stress is critical for mental health and effective job performance. Debriefing and seeking counseling if needed helps process the incident and maintain long-term well-being. Question 14. In North Carolina, what is required for a police officer to legally search a suspect's home? A. Verbal consent from the suspect. B. A warrant issued by a judge. C. Suspicion of illegal activity. D. A tip from a reliable informant. Answer. B. A warrant issued by a judge. Explanation. The Fourth Amendment requires law enforcement to obtain a warrant issued by a judge based on probable cause to conduct a search of a suspect's home, ensuring protection against unreasonable searches. Question 15. Officer Davis in North Carolina is off duty and witnesses a robbery in progress at a convenience store. What should he do? A. Ignore the robbery since he is off duty. B. Call 911 and wait for on-duty officers to arrive. C. Intervene and attempt to stop the robbery immediately. D. Record the incident on his phone for evidence. Answer. B. Call 911 and wait for on-duty officers to arrive. Explanation. While off-duty officers can act, the safest and most effective action is to call 911 and report the incident, allowing on-duty officers to respond appropriately. Intervening without backup can be dangerous. Question 16. Officer Patel in North Carolina is assigned to a neighborhood with a high population of recent immigrants. What strategy should he employ to build trust and cooperation? A. Enforce laws strictly to establish authority. B. Avoid interaction unless absolutely necessary. C. Engage with community leaders and participate in local events. D. Conduct random searches to maintain order. Answer. C. Engage with community leaders and participate in local events. Explanation. Building trust through positive engagement and participation in community events helps officers understand the community's needs and fosters cooperation and mutual respect. Question 17. In North Carolina, a series of burglaries occur at similar times and locations. Which analysis method would best help identify the suspect? A. Randomly increasing patrols in all neighborhoods. B. Reviewing surveillance footage from affected areas. C. Conducting door-to-door inquiries in unrelated neighborhoods. D. Installing surveillance cameras in all public places. Answer. B. Reviewing surveillance footage from affected areas. Explanation. Analyzing surveillance footage from the locations and times of the burglaries can provide critical evidence and help identify patterns or suspects involved in the crimes. Question 18. In North Carolina, under what circumstances can a police officer use deadly force? A. Whenever they feel threatened. B. Only when there is an imminent threat to life. C. To apprehend a fleeing suspect. D. When a suspect resists arrest. Answer. B. Only when there is an imminent threat to life. Explanation. Use of deadly force is legally justified only when there is an immediate threat to the officer's or another person's life, following the principle of proportionality and necessity. Question 19. Officer Nguyen in North Carolina is role-playing a traffic stop. The driver is uncooperative and refuses to provide identification. What should Officer Nguyen do? A. Use physical force to obtain the ID. B. Issue a verbal warning and let the driver go. C. Call for backup and follow department protocols. D. Threaten the driver with arrest unless they comply. Answer. C. Call for backup and follow department protocols. Explanation. In a situation where a driver is uncooperative, calling for backup and adhering to established protocols ensures safety and compliance with legal procedures. Question 20. In North Carolina, which term best describes the legal authority of police officers to make an arrest? A. Jurisdiction. B. Subpoena. C. Probable cause. D. Habeas corpus. Answer. C. Probable cause. Explanation. Probable cause refers to the reasonable belief, based on facts, that a person has committed a crime, providing the legal authority for police officers to make an arrest. Question 21. Officer Thompson in North Carolina is mediating a dispute between two neighbors over noise complaints. What is his best course of action? A. Side with the neighbor who called first. B. Listen to both parties and suggest a compromise. C. Issue citations to both parties to prevent further issues. D. Ignore the complaints and leave. Answer. B. Listen to both parties and suggest a compromise. Explanation. Effective conflict resolution involves understanding both sides and facilitating a fair compromise, helping to maintain peace and good community relations. Question 22. Officer Garcia in North Carolina is assigned to a task force with officers from different departments. How should he approach this assignment? A. Focus only on his tasks and avoid collaboration. B. Take charge and lead the task force without consulting others. C. Collaborate and communicate openly with all team members. D. Work independently to avoid conflicts. Answer. C. Collaborate and communicate openly with all team members. Explanation. Teamwork requires effective communication and collaboration, especially in multi-departmental assignments, to achieve common goals and ensure coordinated efforts. Question 23. In North Carolina, what is the legal blood alcohol concentration, BAC, limit for drivers over 21? A. 0.02%. B. 0.05%. C. 0.08%. D. 0.10%. Answer. C. 0.08%. Explanation. The legal BAC limit for drivers over 21 in North Carolina is 0.08%. Driving with a BAC at or above this limit is considered driving under the influence, DUI, and is subject to legal penalties. Question 24. Which sentence is correctly punctuated for a police report in North Carolina? A. The suspect fled the scene, however, he was apprehended nearby. B. The suspect fled the scene, however, he was apprehended nearby. C. The suspect fled the scene, however, he was apprehended nearby. D. The suspect fled the scene, however, he was apprehended nearby. Answer. C. The suspect fled the scene, however, he was apprehended nearby. Explanation. The semicolon correctly separates two independent clauses, and the comma after, however, is appropriately placed for clarity. Question 25. Officer Lewis in North Carolina needs to allocate funds for equipment. If he has a budget of $10,000 and each piece of equipment costs $1,250, how many pieces can he purchase? A. 6. B. 7. C. 8. D. 9. Answer: C. 8. Explanation: dividing the budget, $10,000, by the cost per piece of equipment, $1,250, gives 8, meaning Officer Lewis can purchase 8 pieces of equipment within his budget. Question 26. During a training exercise in North Carolina, Officer Rivera is given a scenario where a suspect has barricaded himself in a house. What should Officer Rivera do first? A. Force entry immediately to apprehend the suspect. B. Establish a perimeter and call for a negotiator. C. Attempt to negotiate with the suspect through a window. D. Wait for the suspect to surrender voluntarily. Answer: B. Establish a perimeter and call for a negotiator. Explanation: establishing a perimeter ensures the safety of bystanders and officers, while calling for a negotiator helps resolve the situation peacefully and professionally. Question 27. Officer Johnson in North Carolina is assigned to patrol a neighborhood with a high crime rate. How can he ensure his actions are fair and unbiased? A. Assume all residents are potential criminals. B. Apply the same standards and procedures to everyone. C. Focus only on certain groups based on past data. D. Avoid interacting with residents to prevent bias. Answer: B. Apply the same standards and procedures to everyone. Explanation: ensuring fairness and impartiality involves applying the same law enforcement standards and procedures to all individuals, regardless of background or location, to uphold justice and equality. Question 28. In North Carolina, Officer Adams notices a pattern of car thefts occurring near specific parking lots late at night. Which proactive measure should he take? A. Increase patrols in those areas during late-night hours. B. Set up roadblocks in the morning to catch thieves. C. Notify residents to avoid parking in those lots. D. Focus on unrelated areas to catch thieves off guard. Answer: A. Increase patrols in those areas during late-night hours. Explanation: increasing patrols during the times and locations where thefts occur is a targeted strategy based on observed patterns, helping to prevent further incidents and apprehend suspects. Question 29. Officer Thompson in North Carolina is organizing a community outreach event. What is an effective activity to include? A. A session on the importance of obeying the law. B. A demonstration of police tactics and equipment. C. An interactive Q&A session with community members. D. A lecture on the history of policing. Answer: C. An interactive Q&A session with community members. Explanation: an interactive Q&A session fosters open communication, builds trust, and allows community members to voice concerns and ask questions, enhancing public relations and cooperation. Question 30. Officer Roberts in North Carolina needs to pass a physical fitness test that includes running a mile within 8 minutes. If he runs at a consistent pace, how fast should he run each quarter mile? A. 1 minute. B. 2 minutes. C. 2.5 minutes. D. 3 minutes. Answer: B. 2 minutes. Explanation: to complete a mile in 8 minutes, Officer Roberts should run each quarter mile in 2 minutes, maintaining a consistent pace throughout the test.